Bumpal hid under the floor. He realized one of the victims had fallen near him. The man turned into a zombie and looked at them. They screamed in panic, making the zombie crawl after them and try to bite them. Other zombies came because of their screams. One of Bumpal's companions was bitten while another got stuck because he was too fat. Bumpal managed to get out from under the floor and 2 troops helped him. They saw the stuck man being bitten, which made the 2 troops run away and leave Bumpal. The person who ran in front was ambushed by the zombies, while those behind survived and headed to the prison. They panicked while trying to open the lock, making the prisoners confused. The shadow of zombies approaching made them even more panicked. They opened the door, but the zombies arrived too fast. 1 troop was bitten. They tried to open the other lock. At the last moment they managed to open it, but a zombie bit his hand. He screamed in pain, convulsed, and died instantly. Bumpal hid in fear behind Subi, while another prisoner fell in terror. Subi saw the prisoner being bitten by a zombie. In panic, Subi grabbed a sword as the troop rose as a zombie. The zombie attacked and was stabbed by Subi's sword, killing it instantly. The bitten prisoner turned into a zombie. The zombie attacked his companion, spinning him around like a carousel, while zombies outside were ready to bite him. Yongsin saved a child chased by zombies. He pulled the child onto the rooftop and handed the child to the villagers who were still alive. A woman came asking for help. Yongsin tried to grab her hand from above, but the zombies chasing her began to arrive. The woman was surrounded and bitten by the zombies. The villagers took the baby she was carrying and brought it to a safe place. Yongsin let go of the woman's hand into the crowd of zombies, filled with deep regret and guilt. The zombies entered the noble district. They chased the terrified deputy magistrate, causing nobles on the street to become victims. A group of fishermen watched in confusion as the deputy magistrate hurried past them. The fishermen froze when they saw many people running toward them. The zombies attacked the unaware fishermen until they were overwhelmed and fell into the river. A man in the slums saw a female zombie stare and rush at him. Other zombies behind her began attacking the settlement. After seeing the fire from the riverbank, Chang saw a zombie standing on a fisherman's boat in the middle of the river, staring at him like fresh prey. Chang froze when he saw a group of zombies running toward him in the distance. He ran in panic with the zombies right behind him. Muyong arrived and shot an arrow at one zombie, blocking the others until they fell into the river. One zombie attacked and knocked Muyong and Chang off their horse. The zombie kept attacking Muyong even after being stabbed. Chang got up, cut off the zombie's head, and arrogantly said that was how to kill it. They ran away and saw many villagers fleeing toward the fortress. The fortress gate was tightly closed. They thought it was empty, but more villagers arrived seeking shelter. Chang decided to climb the wall. Inside, the deputy magistrate ordered them to leave. His guards fired arrows, causing Chang to fall. Muyong threatened them for daring to attack the crown prince, but the deputy magistrate did not believe him and ordered them to leave, even threatening to shoot anyone who resisted. Panicked villagers began to climb, but the troops stopped them and fired warning arrows into the ground. The deputy magistrate threatened to kill anyone who climbed the fortress. Zombies began to appear running toward the fortress. Chang and Muyong turned back and saw many zombies already in front of the fortress. The villagers panicked and scattered to escape. Chang ran along the fortress and climbed a cliff nearby. They decided to jump into the river to survive. The zombies drowned because they could not swim, while Chang and Muyong survived. Chohakju and the queen were in the king's chamber. They watched the king, who had already turned into a zombie. Chohakju ordered that the king be fed so he could remain alive, while the queen noticed blood on her leg. The night passed and the sun began to rise. The zombies panicked and ran to find places to hide. Some even jumped into wells to avoid the sunlight. The king fell asleep again and was cared for in the queen's palace. The queen, with blood on her leg, ordered her maid to burn her clothes, likely to erase the evidence. The slums were left with only a handful of survivors. Most of the zombies hid under the floors. Yongsin and the surviving villagers came out of hiding, while the deputy magistrate returned to his office on horseback. Bumpal and Subi came out of the prison and met the deputy magistrate and his troops. Bumpal was angry for being left behind, but the deputy magistrate blamed Yongsin instead. Yongsin was arrested and brought forward. He was accused of hiding the existence of the zombies. Subi interrupted and explained that the zombies were people who had starved at his clinic. They ate the flesh of the dead and turned into bloodthirsty monsters at night, but during the day they hid and slept as if dead. Yongsin suggested burning them before nightfall. An old noble rejected the plan, refusing to let his son's body be burned. Bumpal did not dare oppose him and agreed to burn only the bodies of poor commoners. Chang arrived and interrupted their discussion. He immediately struck the deputy magistrate and revealed his identification as the crown prince. Bumpal bowed at once after realizing his identity, followed by the other nobles. Chang ordered all the zombies to be burned, signal fires to be lit for help, and Dongne to be quarantined. The troops immediately lit the signal fires to contact the palace and sent orders for Dongne to be quarantined at once. An official told Kim's son another corpse was found. Kim's son sensed Chohakju was hiding something, but the queen forbade anyone from seeing him. Kim's son decided to seek Lord Hyun, a war hero now in his hometown. If Lord Hyun acted, the scholars and the people would follow. Cho Hakju learned that Kim-sun would seek Lord Hyun, but he was not afraid to face him even if he returned. Seobi visited Bumpal's room at his request. Bumpal promised to keep her by his side until his hair turned white. Seobi misunderstood and thought Bumpal needed a physician because he was ill. Bumpal let her examine him after she misread his words. Seobi discovered that Bumpal had gonorrhea, but said he could recover after taking her medicine. Bumpal smiled awkwardly in embarrassment. Muyong arrived and said Lee Chang had ordered Seobi to be summoned. The deputy magistrate reported that only one ship remained while the others were damaged, and that finding all the hidden zombies before nightfall was impossible. Bumpal ordered him to find a solution. The deputy magistrate began thinking of a plan that was certainly not a good one. Lee Chang read Physician Lee's journal, which said the king had been treated and brought back to life. Lee Chang asked if the zombie disease could be cured. Seobi had not yet found the plant rumored to cure it. Muyong reported the commander's head was missing, fearing it could be sent to Cho Hakju. Lee Hang would seek the truth about the king's death. He planned to fight back using proof from Physician Lee's journal and seek help from Lord Hyun, a war hero. People prepared to leave on the only ship at the dock. Jung-sin heard the commotion outside and called for the guards, but they rushed past and threw him the key. Jung-sin ran to the dock and saw people screaming. The only ship had already departed, leaving those who remained behind. On the ship were only nobles and officials. The deputy magistrate said the nobles were the pillars of Dong-nai. One noble went down to the lower deck. The old woman was the one who had opposed burning the zombies. It turned out she had secretly brought a large chest containing her son's corpse. Would a zombie apocalypse begin in Hanyang? Lee Chang arrived and asked who was on the ship. Jung-sin replied that only nobles and officials were aboard. Muyong asked about other ships, but a troop said only one could sail. Seobi suggested hiding at her clinic before nightfall. After a moment, Lee Chang agreed and led them to Jeulheon Clinic. Time passed as the sun slowly began to set. A child collapsed on the road from exhaustion. Suddenly, he panicked as if chased by debt collectors. They realized many zombies were hiding beneath the rocks. Jung-sin looked around and saw many zombies sleeping nearby. The sun sank lower and the light slowly faded. Realizing this, Lee Chang ordered everyone to run to the clinic. Lee Chang helped pull the villagers' cart forward. Some villagers managed to reach safety. Jung-sin turned back to help the group behind. As Lee Chang pulled the cart, its wheel dropped into a hole and got stuck. Jung-sin rushed over to help him. They tried to lift it but failed. Muyong panicked and reported the hidden zombies were moving. Lee Chang and the others pushed hard and freed the wheel. The zombies opened their eyes, rose, and began chasing the villagers. On the ship, they heard noises from the lower cabin. A zombie inside the chest tried to break free, while the old noble hesitated to open it. The person checking was attacked, and the crew panicked and jumped into the sea. At the clinic, the villagers guarded the doors all night, led by Lee Chang, watching from behind. Morning came as sunlight lit Jeulheon Clinic. Jung-sin climbed up and checked outside, finding it empty, with no zombies in sight. The villagers thanked Lee Chang for saving them. Lee Chang planned to seek Lord Hyun. Hearing this, Jung-sin offered to serve as a guard, but Muyong did not trust him because of his shooting skills. Jung-sin said he was just a commoner, but Muyong remembered his shot hitting a head on the cart. Suddenly they heard a noise outside. Something was pounding on the clinic gate. Cho Hakju's troops stood outside seeking to arrest Lee Chang. Muyong stepped forward to represent Lee Chang. Cho Hakju received the head of the military commander, his favored son, and sought revenge. Arrows began to rain down on Jeulheon, causing the villagers to panic with some being struck. Muyong saved Lee Chang, who stood frozen, watching in despair as the villagers he had saved died one by one before his eyes. Lee Chang fell into despair and blamed himself, but Jung-sin urged him to rise and fight back. Cho Hakju's troops broke down the gate and entered the clinic. Muyong peeked outside and saw 3 troops on guard. He fired an arrow to distract them, then swiftly killed all 3. The troop leader arrived to find his men slaughtered. He searched the area and spotted someone running away. Jung-sin aimed at the enemy with his rifle but was spotted and shot, revealing his position. He rushed one enemy and killed him, then threw a knife at the other. After that, the villagers were ordered to leave for a safe place immediately. Using a whistle, Muyong drew the pursuing troops into the smoke. The troop leader was deceived by Muyong and ended up at a dead end. Muyong regrouped with Lee Chang, Jung-sin, and Seobi, and they set out to meet Lord Hyun. Kim-sun received a report about the smoke signals from Dong-nae. He and the other officials were stopped by guards when they tried to meet the king. Cho Hakju arrived and allowed them to see the king, but inside they were stopped by the queen, who objected. The queen said night was approaching, but Cho Hakju insisted on entering. The queen could not stop her own father. The officials sat before the king's bed, but Cho Hakju told them to move closer to see the king clearly. The sun began to set and darkness fell. The maids opened the curtains around the king's bed, while the queen could only watch helplessly from outside. Suddenly, the chains moved and rattled. Cho Hakju claimed the king suffered from an incurable disease. Even so, he said the king was still alive and remained the ruler of Joseon. Cho Hakju accused Kim Soon of plotting a rebellion with scholars and Lee Chang. He presented a document bearing the signatures of young scholars led by Lee Chang. Kim's son was arrested on charges of treason. The zombie king stared at him like fresh prey. Kim's son was sentenced to death, along with his entire family. The queen asked when her father had planned all of this. He answered that he sought revenge and intended to kill them all. He ordered the queen to protect her baby and ensure it would be a son to inherit the throne as the next king of Joseon. The queen opened her box and was shocked by what she saw. She then vowed to give birth to a male heir no matter what.